Thanks for checking out another clip on the web show, and great fun to catch up with Aussie Stuart Beattie at the Red Bull factory in LA. He was being introduced on stage by Cameron Daddo, and here they are.
First of all, thanks everyone again for coming along tonight, and also thanks to Red Bull for giving us this fantastic room, because it's a really great place. The man to my left, Mr. Stuart Beattie, is having an incredible run. I was actually going through some IMDb things today, and just looking at from 2000 to 2011, there was just credit after credit after credit. And some of them, it's Collateral, Pirates of the Caribbean, Derailed, Bra Boys, the Australian surf documentary, Australia, 30 Days of Night, G.I. Joe, and then of course Tomorrow, When the War Began, which is Stuart's latest film, which he also directed. So let's put our hands together for Stuart Beattie. Just give us a little bit of background on how things began for you, in Australia.
Sure. Yeah. I saw Star Wars when I was 6. I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark when I was 10. I saw Ghostbusters when I was 14, and that movie was the first time I stayed to watch the credits. And I remember asking my dad, "Who are these people?" And he's like, "Oh, they're the people who worked on the movie." I was like, "That's a job?" I was like, "Oh, that's it. That's me." So I think from about that age, I kind of knew I wanted to be a filmmaker, but I didn't know how to do it because you're living in Sydney, you're a long way from Hollywood, and that kind of stuff. So.
Yes, there you go. That's what I always love about stories. It all starts with that first impulse thought of, can I do that? And since that idea, he's done, as he said, Collateral with Tom Cruise, which is an amazing film, Pirates of the Caribbean, which is just a worldwide smash for Johnny Depp, and Orlando Bloom, and also Australia with Baz Luhrmann. It's quite incredible, and here's his first directing effort with writer as well on Tomorrow, When the War Began.
What is going on? Well, I always thought that one of the best things about the book was that it was very character heavy. These 8 characters are all very clearly defined, and they all have their own journeys, and I loved that. And I think it was just a matter of keeping true to that, and letting the action happen around them. I believe that the more you care about the characters, the more exciting the action is. I think the scenes are interesting, and I've tried to make them fun and give you a real sense of who all these people are, before they go on this ride.
Yes, there he is in the director's chair for the first time, and that film has been an absolute smash in Australia, so well done to Stuart, and it was great to catch up with him for a quick chat on the web show. Stuart Beattie, how are you?
Good, mate. How are you doing?
That was inspiring listening to you talking up there on stage. Do you find that you're inspired by your own journey and the work you put in?
No, no. I'm inspired by other people. I'm inspired by great storytellers, great writers, great directors, great novelists. I just love hearing great stories. I'm more inspired by, I guess, authors in all senses of the word.
Well, we share a trait in that we love stories, and the show I do online is all about stories. So
good.
just how did it come about for you writing? Like, when was the first inkling when you thought this is going to be good?
When I was 10, I wrote like a 50-page story.
Not bad for a 10-year-old.
Yeah, it was just something that I just loved doing, and then I just kept writing after that, and I wrote a lot of, how to host a murder games.
What?
How to host a murder games. Okay. You ever heard of these? There's these games you can buy, and everyone plays a character, and there's a murder and all this stuff. You have to solve it, and it's a dinner party thing. And so I had done all of them, and there were only 8, and so I started writing them. And so that was a lot of fun because that was creating characters, creating stories. Did that a lot. And acted them all out with my friends and all that kind of craziness. And so, just writing in all different forms. I wrote songs, I wrote poems, I wrote short stories, long stories, and eventually screenplays. So,
I'm sure the thing that separates a lot of people in the industry is the amount of commitment they have to their work. How often do you write?
Oh, every day.
How long?
All the time. Varies.
But every day you show up and do it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And also I'm always thinking about it. So even if I'm driving along somewhere, I'll be thinking about story, thinking about this, that. Reading stories, I'll be thinking about it all the time. I love it. I'm like a sponge for stories, and I'm always spitting them out too. So
right,
it's
okay.
just,
What kind of people, who inspired you growing up, like with films and stuff? Was it people you admire that you kind of like follow?
Yeah, absolutely. Tons of great. Well, specifically it was screenwriters by that stage. It was people like Larry Kasdan, who wrote Raiders and Empire. Yeah. Frank Darabont, who did Shawshank and
Legend.
Frankenstein, great writer. Steve Zalian, all the really great guys that I'd get a hold of these scripts and just marvel at them. And I've still got them all. I've got like about 50 or 60 scripts of other people that I just keep on my shelf, and every now and then I'll just pull one down and how did he write that, or how did he express that, or because I just remember them. They're just great writing and great storytelling.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, man, because you've had such amazing success, some of the biggest movies in the world have got your name on the screen after it saying written by. Was there a hard time for you in here? Like, can I ask you about? Was there moments here where there was times when you thought maybe I better do something else?
Yeah, no, never. I thought I should do something else because I didn't know what to do. So it was always just, I've got to find a way to do this. But yeah, there were times I remember I couldn't afford a $5 haircut. I remember finding a squashed muffin in the bottom of my bag and eating that because I was just so hungry. Being there for like a week. So yeah, there were definitely a lot of dark times and all that kind. I mean, I wasn't living on the street or anything, but I was, working at Taco Bell and trying to write every spare second I could and trying to make a break and get some traction. And yeah, it's really hard. But I was young.
How did you kind of battle out through that? What was the?
Well, I was blind ignorance more than anything else. I think. And when I look back on it now, it's just I don't know how to do anything else. I don't want to do anything else. So I got to figure out a way to do this because there's really no other option. So that was a good driving force. Really.
I can imagine a great interview on stage with Cameron Daddo up there. It was. But touching on something you'd say to people out there, I'm sure there might be someone seeing this online that says, I want that kind of success, I want to be like him. What would you say to him?
The best advice I ever got was from my business manager, and he said, if you're not getting arrested, you're not breaking down enough doors and smashing enough windows.
Really?
And so, yeah, I that was the thing for me. The real break for me was when I sold Collateral to DreamWorks, and because I'd written that script initially for HBO to be like a Friday night thriller, and they'd put it in turnaround. It was dead, and I just set my mind about I'm going to sell that to DreamWorks, and so I just basically fought and kicked and screamed for 2 or 3 months until I got a meeting with DreamWorks, and that they rescheduled 5 times, and went in there and pitched it, and they bought it next day. But it was just that I've just got to go all out. There's no other choice, and I think that really helped me.
That's awesome, man, and a great film too, by the way, Collateral. And the thing I love asking everyone is if they can live the ultimate dream, what it would be. I'm assuming that you're on the path, but if not, what is the big dream for you?
I would love to be in a position where I can write and direct my own films, and someone just gives me the money and lets me go do it. Wouldn't that be nice? But I don't know if that exists. Maybe Ridley Scott has that or something. But I just, I would just like people to trust me, just trust me, but it's a lot of money and there's a lot of different decisions. So, but I mean, I feel very, very fortunate to be doing what I'm doing, and that they pay me to do it, and I can make a career out of it and a life out of it. So I am living the dream. I'm happily married for 14 years. I got 2 beautiful boys. So I can't ask for anything more than that.
Oh man, well, I'm sure you're on the path of that, and great to meet you tonight, and thanks again.
You too, mate. My pleasure.